Hello and welcome to another Doctor Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing another comic book review, Doctor Who comic book review. I was expecting to get the second issue, or well, not the second issue, but continuation to my 11th Doctor comic, which was issue 5. I was expecting to get issue 6, but I didn't. But I did get this one, which is a 10th Doctor comic with the 10th Doctor there, as usual, kind of like a actual still like image of the actual actor, David Tennant. Doctor Who, kind of more classic looking thing. New adventures with the 10th Doctor, and then you've got like this front cover, which both me and my mum both agree that looks very reminiscent of the sort of like a war poster sort of thing, you know, with the red and the yellow kind of text. It's issue 5. It's by Titan Comics even. The artwork's really nice. It's very different from both the 11th Doctor comics that I've got, and it's very more realistic-y looking. It's very good. My only gripe is that when I'm reading text in there, it's really hard to read because of the typography in that. Like, it's much different from that. That's like normal, kind of more normal, easier to read text, and this is kind of more like this weird squiggly like writing and stuff. It's very interesting, a very abstract sort of read, and it was a fun read. Don't get me wrong. Whether or not they've captured the 10th Doctor well in this comic, I'd probably say they have, but personally, I've just not seen any of his tenure for a long time now. Whenever I do go back to watch any of his sort of tenure, I always probably go to the specials, and that really obviously doesn't really give David Tennant's Doctor justice in the fact that, don't get me wrong, they're really good, the specials, but it's just that, you know, he's going to act differently because he's near the end of his tenure. So on the back, you've got just an advertisement for Venom. Yeah, the next issue looks really good. It's about, what is it about now? The Weeping Angels in World War I. Sort of trenches, that sounds awesome. And these are the 3 different covers. C, B, and A. I'm torn between, I personally like all 3 of them. So, and yeah, 3 brand new comics. Ironically, out of these 3 new comics, for each Doctor, I've ironically got 2 of them so far. I've got this one and I've got that one. That one I've already reviewed, and I've got that one. So yeah, 12th Doctor issue 2. That's not right. That should say. Oh yeah, 12th Doctor issue 2. I meant to say. I thought it was the 11th Doctor. The 11th Doctor's issue 5, and then issue 5 of the 10th Doctor. So yeah, yeah, it is good. It's very yeah, it's got this sort of more realistic looking art style compared to the 11th Doctor ones. The 11th Doctor ones kind of have more of a cartoony-esque, or more of an animated-y comic book feel to them, whereas this looks much more realistic, somewhat. And yeah, the cover is much different to the 11th Doctor ones. The 11th Doctor comic book front covers have usually been like very oil pastel like covers, whereas, as I say, this one looks like a war poster. The companion in this is called Gabby, apparently. I've not really seen much of her, but this is sort of like, basically, I'm guessing the 10th Doctor kind of has taken on Gabby kind of like how he did with Martha, because, you know, by the end he said, okay, Gabby, you are really important, you can travel with me a long time, you know, like on a proper adventure. So I'm guessing this is basically essentially like Gabby's Smith and Jones, which was Martha's first episode, where, you know, basically by the end, you know, the 10th Doctor was like, oh, okay, you can travel more with me if you want, you know, sort of thing. And this is pretty much that sort of stepping stone, and it is a good stepping stone. It's very, it's all about art and stuff, so if you're into art, then you should hopefully like it. And I like the character of Gabby. I haven't obviously seen her much, so I can't give a full opinion, and that. and like a big opinion on her, because as I say, I've not seen any other comics with her. Again, the 10th Doctor seems to not really do that much in this. I feel like Gabby gets a more development, but I feel like the 10th Doctor isn't really in this that much. But and as I say, even if he was, I wouldn't be able to really judge whether or not he's very reminiscent of the 10th Doctor, because as I say, I haven't seen his tenure for yonks. But yeah, he looks like the 10th Doctor. He's nicely drawn in this comic, and that. And yeah, I just hope that Titan Comics just continue on the way they're going. They seem to be really good. Whether or not these comics sell well amongst hardcore Doctor Who fans, I'm not sure. I definitely recommend them to any Doctor Who fan. Any hardcore Doctor Who fan, if you want to give this to them as a present, that would be an amazing present. As a filler, maybe 2 of these comics or something, in succession. This one next week's or next month's, because I think they're monthly releases. So, and yeah, I think it says in really small print, cover A. So that's how you can tell which cover you've got, which is quite nice. I've just noticed it now. And yeah, I'd give it a well-earned 10 out of 10, or like it was a fun read. It is a fun read. I did go in expecting to get the next issue of the 11th Doctor's comic, so issue 6 of that. But I guess I guess now that I know that they're more of a monthly issue thing, I guess I should have expected that I wasn't going to get the next issue of the 11th Doctor's one. But aside from that, I'm fine with this. I'm completely fine. David Tennant is a decent Doctor. He's a good Doctor, and yeah, I like how Titan Comics continue the sort of 11th and 10th Doctor in comic book form. It's nice, especially for all those fans of those Doctors. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe.